Welcome friends, myself Dr. V.S. Rathore. I am an aesthetic plastic surgeon working in the city of Kolkata for 18 years. My clinic name is Kaayakalp Cosmetic and Laser Surgery Clinic, Kakurgachi. So today I'll be telling you about the difference between the FUT and FUE. In FUT, what we do, we take out a strip of skin from the back of scalp, and from that strip the individual follicles are separated and those are implanted. While in case of FUE, what we do, we shave off the entire donor area and there are special punches or drills are there. Then individual hair roots are drilled out. So that means we are directly getting the grafts which are being implanted. Now, what is the essential difference between the FUT and FUE, or you can say what are the advantages or disadvantages of FUT and FUE? As you know, the donor area on the scalp, that is the which is behind the scalp and above the ear, this is a real permanent zone which we call it as a safe donor area. So safe donor area is fixed in each and every individual. So suppose in this fixed area, this is the safe donor area, and in another patient, this is the safe donor area in which I am going to do an FUE. In FUT, what I am doing, I am making two cuts in the center part of the safe donor area. While making these two cuts, I am removing the strip. Once the strip is removed, this area is stitched up. Above the cut, there is a normal density. Below the lower cut, there is a normal density. So normal density is stitched up with the normal density. This is how a tailor does. See, he makes the arm piece and chest piece separate, and then once he stitched, you see there is a no gap. It seems as if a smooth appearance. So that means once the strip has been removed and I have done a trichophytic closure, immediately after the surgery, in appearance remains normal, density remains normal. Since I haven't done anything in above the cut area and lower the cut area, that means they are the virgin areas. That means in future, I can again do either a FUT or an FUE with a good yield of graft. That means this process is preserving my future donor area is preserved for next transplant without compromising the density. While in case of FUE, from a same fixed area, alternate hair is drilled out. So this is what is in FUE. That means the entire area I am taking an alternate hair. That means here the density is getting decreased. Similarly, the appearance is also getting decreased. Since I have done drilled out in entire area of the donor area, that means in future if I do a FUT or an FUE in a previously FUE done area, I get a less yield, which will further compromise the appearance and the density of donor area. Now, in a common sense, I'll tell you, from a fixed area, when I'm taking out a strip from the highest density area, that means I am able to harvest the maximum hairs, maximum permanent hairs by FUT. But in a fixed area, if I am harvesting alternate hairs, so I am able to harvest less hairs in case of FUE. But harvesting less hairs from FUE is not going to serve my purpose because I need more graft to cover the bald patch. So there are two options. Either I will do an over harvest or I will transgress into above area, which is a non-safe donor area. So transgressing into a non-safe donor area means that the area in which the future baldness, when the vertex baldness is going to increase, they will vanish after some years. Or the other option is either use a body hairs. So these are the three options. Since by FUE I am getting less hairs, so in order to make up, either I am over harvesting or I am transgressing into the unsafe donor area, thereby further reducing the density and compromising the appearance of the donor area, or I have to use body hairs in order to make up. So that's again a disadvantage in case of FUE. Now in FUT, the entire surgery is under vision, because starting from the strip harvest and tractioning at the margins, they were preventing injury to the hair roots, preparation of the grafts under vision. So whenever we are doing any process under vision, so there is a less chance of injury to the roots. While FUE is a blind technique. So blind technique, since it's a, whatever the expertise is there, inadvertently there is some injury while harvesting the roots. Secondly, since the depth and directions are not same, suppose I am harvesting this hair, my drill goes inside the skin and may injure neighboring hair root without my conscious knowledge. That means further compromising your density and injuring the permanent hairs. Since FUT, the graft preparation is under vision, so we keep a amount of fat all around the grafts. So that means these grafts are strong and robust. So anything strong and robust, its survival is better. While FUE hairs are delicate and fragile. So anything which is delicate and fragile has to be handled very delicately with utmost care. So even when we are taking utmost care, still there is some micro or a macro damage to the FUE hair roots. If there is a micro damage to the FUE hairs, that means they will not have a proper growth. They will grow either slowly or they will be thinned out hairs. If there is a macro damage to the FUE hair roots, that means even if you have implanted FUE hairs, they are not going to grow. So it has been seen that less than 6% of FUE hair do not grow. While in case of FUT, 99 to 100% will grow. At my clinic, I give guarantee to all my patients that your 100% growth is ensured. So another point is that there is no need of shaving, and here shaving is must. So because of all these advantages, or you can say in FUE, these are the drawbacks. This is considered to be the best or gold standard method of hair transplant. Now, the question will come, then what are the advantages of FUE? Yes, there are definitely advantages of FUE. Since the trauma is less, so their healing of FUE donor area is in 7 to 10 days. While in case of FUT, healing time is 10 to 12 days time. The discomfort is slightly less in FUE while it is more in FUT. And the healing is fast in case of FUE because of less trauma. It is bit slow. In FUE, no stitching, but here definitely there has to be stitch and it needs a removal. Now coming to the scar. Once you get tonsured, the FUT scar will be a linear. Even when I am doing an trichophytic closure, so it is a broken line, but a linear scar is there. But in case of FUE, when you get tonsiled, you will find tiny micro scars are there, small white scars are there. But no matter whatever the process of hair transplant is, the scar remain hidden once the hairs are there on the scalp. But once you get tonsiled, means shave off your scalp, both the scars are visible. There are ways. If the patient says, "Ki, doc, I don't want that there is any visibility of scar," so there is a way to hide the FUT scar very easily. You can do an FUE in the scar, so the scar becomes less visible, or you can do scalp micropigmentation in order to hide. So SMP and FUE becomes very easy in order to hide the scar. While in case of FUE, only option is SMP, and it is bit tedious because every small dot you have to find out and place a pigment there. So these are the ways to hide the scar. Now the principal advantage of FUE is that when the area of baldness is extensive, then you can do a combo technique. That means you can combine FUT and FUE process and have more grafts, and you can cover a large area of baldness. That's the principal advantage, I'll say, a large baldness combination of FUT plus FUE. The second advantage is that when there is an extensive baldness, especially the grade 7 baldness, even after doing FUT or FUE or combo, we are not able to cover the entire process. So here comes the advantage of FUE process. We can harvest body hairs, means we can harvest hairs from the chin, from the chest, from the any body parts, and we can transplant those hairs into the scalp. That is the real advantage of FUE. So in nutshell, I hope you came to know about what are the differences between the FUT and FUE, what are the advantages of the FUT process, and what are the disadvantages of FUE process. So if you want to see results of my patients who have undergone hair transplant, please click on the I button, and for more informations, please follow and subscribe my YouTube channel Kaayakalp. So stay connected with me. Till then, bye bye.